lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. God, I'm upset because I cannot find my handheld microphone, and so I have indeed had to resort to my Apple wired headphones, which is the quality is just a little less prominent. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Today, we'll see if I end up posting this because this is quite vulnerable. I'm kind of talking a little bit about like dealing with depression and how to try and overcome it. So, I feel like a lot of the time when I am like really struggling mentally or very depressed, because I have had depression episodes several times over the past several years, and they range in severity and for a plethora of different reasons, but they've all looked a little bit different. And I think a lot of the time when people think of depression, they think of, oh, you're staying in your room all day, you're just laying in bed, you're not wanting to do anything. And that can be the case for some people. For me, depression looks a little bit differently. And I think a lot of people, when I've been the most depressed, have had no idea how depressed I truly was, because I function a little bit differently when I'm depressed. Instead of, I mean, I do wallow in bed sometimes, but a lot of the time when I'm the most depressed is when people will see me the most active, if that makes sense, because I'm trying to fill up genuinely every single second of my day. So, because I know when I go home, my thoughts are going to catch back up to me and I'm just going to be so like there's just going to be like a fucking pit in my stomach and I'm just going to wallow, which is not, you know, the best feeling. Um and so what I mean by constantly filling my day, I don't mean like, oh, getting out for a few hours doing stuff with someone. No. I mean literally from the moment I wake up to the moment I'm getting home late at night. I'm hanging out with multiple people a day. I'm going in and out of my, like, I'm constantly running on errands because I literally cannot be home or else I'm just left alone with my thoughts. Does that make sense to people? I don't know. I don't know. It's how I function though. And is it the healthiest way to deal with things? Probably not. But it's just how I work. And I think that's why a lot of people, unless I say something, probably would never know that I'm depressed, because it's not typical symptoms or whatever. I'm hesitant. I'm like, there's things I do to try and help with my depression. I have a lovely therapist I talk to, and I recommend therapy for literally everyone. Even if you think you don't need therapy, I promise you it will benefit you in one way or another. I'm not saying you have to go on the regular, but it's nice to have someone there to talk to when you need. That's not like a friend or family member, someone that's a little more branched out. I don't know why the glare on my glasses is bothering me a little bit. I'm going to take them off. So I talked to her. I have a good support system with my friends and my family. I really struggle with being open sometimes about my emotions with people, because it's a level of vulnerability that just being vulnerable can be very difficult, and it's a level of vulnerability that I have trouble being comfortable with sharing a lot of the time, even with some of my closest friends. And it's nothing against them. It's an internal thing, and I'm trying to like work past that, because keeping it bottled up is not the solution. And I know I've done that in the past and even recently. But I have a good support system of people who offer copious amounts of time to just listen to me talk, or if I just need to like literally like sit in silence. Sometimes my friends will come over and we'll just sit in silence, we'll lay in my bed, we'll cuddle, whatever, like, whatever, you know, just to have someone there, just to not feel so consumed in my own head. And I have a mom who, although I have difficulty sometimes opening up to her because of how our dynamic has been in the past, she is always there offering me support. So that's really helpful. Having a good support system, I am blessed to have that. Not everybody does. Sometimes it's on me for not using that support system in the way it's presented to me, you know? So there's that, but I'm really trying. And I have like taken up journaling. I've done it before because I think it's good to get like my thoughts onto paper and not just keep them bottled up here. I think it's a healthy thing to do. Write them down. Keep a journal. I've been doing that lately, and I find it nice. I journal every night because I find that at night is when I'm the most consumed in my anxious or just unsettling thoughts, uncomfortable thoughts, because I'm alone and it's night, and something about nighttime always brings up just heavy emotions. And so I've been saying at night and journaling, and I think it's been helpful. So that's something I do to try and kind of work through my depressive episodes, as well as usually when I'm very depressed, it coincides with anxiety. I have an anxiety disorder that I was diagnosed with a few years ago. I've always been a very anxious person. I've worked a lot to try and overcome it, and I'm a lot less anxious on a daily basis than I used to be, and I cope with it a lot better, which is really, really good. It took me years to work on that. Not saying I'm not still anxious in a lot of ways, but I have done some steps to come quite a long ways from where I once was. But when I'm really depressed, it technically, or not technically, it often coincides with anxiety, and so I become very, very, very anxious, and I feel like I'm walking around with just like a constant pit in my stomach, and like my chest is so tight, and it's like, oh my god, I just need to breathe, you know? Taking deep breaths sometimes helps. Listening to music, sometimes instead of, sometimes I wallow when I'm depressed, and I shouldn't, and I listen to sad music, and I shouldn't, because it does not help. It does not help, okay? So my friends have me listening to hot girl music. My friend Monica recommended that to me. Shout out to her. And you know what? It does kind of help because it's just so hype that you can't it's not that the uncomfortable thoughts or depressing thoughts, whatever you want to call it, go away, but they just kind of it's hard to kind of fully feel down whenever there's like Megan Thee Stallion blasting in your fucking ear in your car. So I've been trying to do that. That's a new thing I've picked up. And it does kind of help. Thoughts don't completely go away, but it picks up the mood for a little bit. Whenever I'm struggling mentally, I like to go on walks. I like to hike a lot. I think being out in nature, not to sound like total hippy dippy, but I think it's very, very grounding. I say a lot. I apologize. But I think it's very grounding. I love to hike. It's a bit hot here where I am. Oh! I woke up not long ago. But it's a bit hot here where I am, so it's not the most comfortable hiking weather. However, going on a bike ride, going on a walk, going on a hike, I don't run. I hate running. I hate running just about more than anything. So if you catch me running, that means it's like... Anyways, haven't quite gotten there yet to the point where I'm like, I need to run. But it helps me clear my head a lot. Going on drives, listening to music is helpful. You know, I don't know. I feel like every time I've kind of been in a spot like this. Again, it's for multiple different reasons, like that trigger my depression. But I feel like it'll consume me for sometimes like days, weeks on end, and then one day, like I don't know, like something will snap and I'm like, okay, I feel like this weight off my shoulders. And so I'm at this point in time just kind of trying to keep up my usual, I guess, coping habits to try and work through it, not avoid what I'm feeling or my depression because, or like completely wallow in it, but also, you know, just trying to keep myself up enough to where I can, I don't even know, until that day comes where it's just like, oh, boom, and I feel a little bit better. That's how it's worked sometimes. I don't know, man. But, you know, the thing is about like keeping my day busy all the time to try and keep my mind off of whatever I'm feeling. It just, I don't feel like it's any better than being depressed and wallowing in bed all day because even though I'm doing stuff, I'm still like have this constant voice in the back of my head, just like not voice, but just these thoughts going and going and going and going, and I can't turn it off. So I'll be out with my friends, and it looks like I'm having fun because and it's not that I'm not or anything against them, but I'm putting on this like facade to try and seem like, you know, things are going good. Like I'm not letting this consume me as much as I am, because I feel like if I tell myself, okay, like we're having fun, we're having fun, we're having fun, you know, you're feeling better, it'll like my brain will start to feel that way. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, wow, I'm so fucking depressed, I'm so unhappy, like I'm having all these whatever, all these thoughts. Like if I tell myself, okay, I'm having fun, like it'll eventually catch up to me. But the thing is I pack my day so much, literally so much. It's insane. Sometimes when I reiterate like what I've done, like in the past when I've been really depressed and I've reiterated like to people what I'm out doing without them even knowing that it's inherently tied to me being depressed, they're like, "Oh my god, how are you balancing all of these things? How are you why are like how do you have the energy to fit all of these things into one day?" Because I pack myself and then I come home and I'm exhausted, but I can't sleep because I'm up and my thoughts are racing. And so I'm just exhausted for like and I'll keep going out, but I'm still just mentally exhausted, and it's like, oh my god, how is this really the best way to go about it? And I do all these other little things like journal and listen to music, and I pick up little hobbies and stuff to try and like, you know, keep myself doing something, not just completely wallow in whatever it is I'm going through. But at the end of the day, you know, like, so I'm messing with my unicorn's hair. Don't mind me. At the end of the day, like, I still come home and I still sit in bed and I still think, damn, I'm really like not doing okay. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know why I'm like talking about this. I'm hoping that someone maybe finds some relatability in that and has like something, this reaches someone who has some sort of tip to give me, because I'm just trying to power through like I have in the past. And it's hard when I'm doing all these things that like I feel like should help me, and they're just not, because I'm still walking around with like a constant pit in my stomach and this like a cloud over my head. Um, trying to keep my head up. That's you know, that's one thing to do. that's what I've, done in the past, as someone who has struggled with my mental health a lot on and off over the years. But I don't know, maybe this will reach anyone who has some sort of advice, something that's helped them overcome sometimes these periods, if you will. But yeah, so just gonna keep on trucking, everything will work out how it's supposed to. That's what I tell myself. I have struggled really bad with my mental health in the past. I don't want to go too into it. That's a little more personal. I feel like I'm being kind of vague within this conversation. It's just me, myself, and I talking to more or less a wall. I blinked out for a second there. But in the past, I have been really, really depressed. Struggled with my mental health, especially in middle school, a lot. And I have always been able to overcome, I can't speak, I have always been able to overcome the situation, no matter how difficult it has been, because I have had several really rough periods where I've, again, really struggled with my mental health. Every single time, no matter what was going on in my life, I have always been able to overcome that. And that is something. And I take that reminder with me whenever I'm feeling like this, for whatever reason it may be. I remember, oh, I overcame that really dark period in my life when I was feeling down, similar to this. I will make it through this one. Even if there are bad days and it's hard to not wallow in the sadness, I know that I will not let this catch up to me. I will not let this get the better of me, and I will eventually work past it. And I think that although it's sometimes easier thought than done, I think that is a good reminder to tell yourself. Anyways, yeah, a little bit more heavy of a video, but you know what? I think I find it helpful whenever I see people online talking about having, going through struggles, and I find relatability in parts of it. I find it helpful because I feel a little bit less alone. I feel like, okay, someone else relates to this. That means, I'm a little less alone. I can power through this. So maybe someone will find that in this. I don't know. Not many people really watch my videos, and I'm honestly okay with that. But if someone stumbles across this and you have any words of advice, anything that helps you, I would appreciate it. It's fun to help each other out. But anyways, that's all I have to say today. But I hope everyone has a lovely day. If anyone watches this, yeah. Love you guys. Bye.